True Gamer here, back with another episode. Okay, first up to the round table, Spider-Man Edge of Time on the PS3. This franchise will always hold its value, so keep your Spider-Man games that you currently buy on the new systems today. And these were the times when instruction booklets were always sitting pretty inside of your game cases. Now, this was developed and published by Activision and it was released in 2012. Next, Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes on the Nintendo GameCube. And this is the back, and then inside it comes with a double disc case for maximum capacity there. So inside would be these two mini DVDs placed inside of the caddy, and it will be accompanied by this long, sleek, glossy, colourful manual. Now you can always identify if this is the official case or not with the stamp of approval in the top of the inside of the casing. Now, Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes was a remake of Metal Gear Solid 1, and it was exclusively only on the Nintendo GameCube. So the game was developed by Konami and Silicon Knights, and Konami was the publisher, and it was released in 2004. Now this needs no introduction, Minecraft on the PS4, but this version is very special because it's the Complete Adventure Edition. Now what that means is that you have all the episodes installed on one disc. So keep your eyes peeled just for that cover art. Now there'd be nothing inside except the disc because this generation manuals was a rarity. Now Telltale Games was the developer and the publisher, and it was released in 2015. And here is another PS4 expensive gem, Back to the Future, Marty McFly once again making an appearance in video games. He's an absolute legend. Now this is the 30th anniversary edition. Now if I open it, you'll see you'll get the trademark Back to the Future title on the disc. And once again, as you can see, the case is looking rather bare without that dynamic paperwork glowing on the other side, which is a damn shame. They could at least made an exception due to it being a 30th anniversary and just make that extra effort and give us what the gamers want. And once again, Telltale was the developer and publisher, and it was released in 2015. Next we have Street Fighter 2 interactive movie on the Sega Saturn. Now this is just what the title implies. All you'll be doing is watching a movie and interacting with all of the characters that you see on the screen. Nothing much to say, but if you're a Street Fighter fan, I guess you would want to add this to your collection. And if you want a complete copy of the game, this is what it would look like. You would get the Japanese spine card, which is ideal for displaying on your shelves, like so. And then inside, you'll get, I think, just the one disc. Yeah. You get the registration card, Japanese spine card, you get the disc, and inside you'll find the vibrant, flashy, glowing manual. On top of all these credentials, you won't just have one disc, but you'll find yourself with two. And that's what it will look like. So this is very much the copy of the Street Fighter 2 interactive movie. Now, Capcom was the developer and publisher, and it was released in 1995. Then we have the wonderful Wonder Dog on the Sega CD. Now this is my sealed copy of the game, and this seems to be going up in price by the second, and to obtain a sealed copy, I guarantee it won't be a cheap task, if any at all is out there. Now I managed to grab this at the perfect time, and was in the perfect place. Core Design was the developer, and it was published by JVC Musical Industries, and it was released in the great 1992. The Devil's Third on the Wii U, and this is my freshly sealed copy. As you can see, we've got that infamous Nintendo logo strip wrapped all around the casing. That just verifies that this seal is not a reseal like many are floating out there on the World Wide Web. But yeah, this is Devil's Third, and it will absolutely cost a fortune. And for the Nintendo Wii U owners out there, this game is a holy grail on the platform. So Valhalla Game Studios and Nintendo Software Planning and Development was the developers, and the co-publishers were Nixon and Nintendo, and the game was released in 2015. Now here's something you don't see every day. Goonies on the Commodore 64. My memories absolutely run wild every time I look at this game. But I have to say, on this ancient computer, they did have some legendary titles on it. Now the load times took a lifetime to actually boot in so you can play the game, because as you can see here, all of the data used to be stored on a cassette tape. Imagine that. Now I know there was cartridges and floppy disk available for the Commodore 64, but most people could only afford tapes back then. So the cassette was the most common thing to use because it was cheap. But I got to say, guys, when I open it here, we have come a long way. Imagine that. You used to need a cassette player to actually play games. It's amazing how they actually stored all the game data just on one reel there. But yeah, as you can see, guys, they still managed to give us a flimsy, slender manual, because the developers in them glory days knew what gamers want, and that is the paperwork inside of our cases. Now this was developed and published by the legendary Datasoft, and it was released in the timeless disco era of 1985. Now this is what you call gaming royalty. Power Stone 2 on the Sega Dreamcast. Now the Power Stone series is an absolute cult classic in the gaming world, and I bet everyone who still owns a Dreamcast will definitely have Power Stone 1 and 2 sitting pretty on their shelves in all of its glory deep inside their gaming room. Now I spent millions of hours playing this in its heyday with friends and family members. So if you're just starting your Dreamcast collection, I highly recommend this, because this game is an excellent multiplayer fighting game. And we are back in the glory days. If I can get this open. Be careful with these cases, especially the European cases. They're the most fragile piece of equipment I've ever come across. But yeah, guys, we are back in the days where we will have the disc in all of its glory. So inside you'll see this stacked, thick, illustrious manual, which you can flick through with absolute joy and delight. So we were well and truly back in the glory days where manuals were included. So Power Stone 2 was developed by Capcom, and Capcom and Eidos Interactive collaborated with the publishing duties, and this was released in the third millennium, which is the year 2000. So I'm going to end with another Capcom commodity. Capcom Collection on the Xbox One. Now prices for this just shot up out of nowhere, especially on the PS4. So as you can see, we will have a cocktail of Capcom games all packed on one disc. So you would get 10 Capcom classics from the Capcom universe, and this is strictly for all of them Capcom fanatics. Now, I have a sealed copy, so this version is the one to collect if you want the most value and if collection is your intention. And yeah, this was developed and also published by Capcom, and it was released in 2022. So there it is, guys. You have witnessed 10 heavy hitters in my collection thus far, and these games will definitely go down in the gaming history books. Okay, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Even better, subscribe. Till next time, see ya.